Let's get something straight right now. That feeling of wanting to quit? It's not a sign of weakness. It's not evidence that you're on the wrong path. It's the universal checkpoint that separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream about it. Every single person who has ever accomplished something meaningful has stood exactly where you're standing now, staring into the abyss of doubt, exhaustion, and uncertainty. The difference is that they found a way to take one more step forward when everything within them screamed to turn back. Society has sold us a dangerous lie about motivation. We've been conditioned to believe that motivation is something that should be constant, that successful people wake up every day burning with passionate desire to conquer their goals. This fantasy has set you up for failure. Real motivation isn't a constant flame. It's not an endless reservoir you can draw from whenever you need it. It's a flickering candle that will inevitably dim and sometimes go out completely. Understanding this truth is your first step toward developing real resilience. The professionals, those who achieve lasting success, don't rely on motivation. They've built something far more powerful, systems that carry them forward when motivation abandons them. When the mountain looks too high to climb, stop looking at the summit. The weight of the entire journey will crush your spirit. Instead, focus on the single step directly in front of you, just one, then another, then another. Break your overwhelming goal into ridiculously small pieces, so small that they seem almost meaningless. Can't face an hour of work? Commit to 5 minutes. Can't handle a complete workout? Do just one set. Can't write a chapter? Write a single paragraph. These micro-commitments bypass your brain's resistance mechanisms. They silence the voice that says it's too much, because honestly, anyone can do almost anything for 5 minutes. And here's the secret. Once you start, the activation energy is overcome, and continuing becomes infinitely easier than starting was. Your brain is constantly seeking evidence to support whatever you believe. If you believe you're a quitter, you'll find reasons to quit. If you believe you're resilient, you'll find the strength to continue. Create emotional anchors that remind you of your capability and resilience. Document your wins, no matter how small. Keep a visible record of the obstacles you've already overcome. Create a physical token that represents your commitment, something you can touch when doubt creeps in. When the urge to quit becomes overwhelming, these anchors connect you to the evidence that you are stronger than you think in this moment of weakness. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Your brain is wired to conserve energy and avoid pain, which means it will always push you toward the path of least resistance. Understanding this biological reality allows you to recognize that discomfort isn't an alarm signal. It's a growth indicator. Deliberately expose yourself to small, controlled doses of discomfort daily. Take cold showers. Fast for a day. Work when you don't feel like it. Do the thing that scares you most before breakfast. This practice builds your tolerance for discomfort and recalibrates your brain to recognize that discomfort is survivable, even valuable. When the inevitable pain of pursuing your goals arrives, it won't feel like an emergency that requires immediate escape. We're often told to ignore sunk costs, the time, energy, and resources we've already invested. But when fighting through moments of doubt, those sunk costs can become powerful fuel. Remind yourself of everything you've already sacrificed to reach this point. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrificed comforts, the resources invested, the opportunities declined. Would you really throw all of that away for the temporary relief of quitting? The path behind you is paved with your effort and sacrifice. Honor that investment by continuing forward. The most powerful motivator isn't what you want to achieve, it's who you want to become. Goals can change, circumstances can change, but identity provides an unshakable foundation when everything else is in flux. Stop focusing exclusively on outcome-based goals. I want to build a successful business. And start focusing on identity-based commitments. I am the kind of person who shows up consistently, regardless of how I feel. When motivation fades, identity remains. And the actions that align with your chosen identity will pull you forward when nothing else can. Every meaningful pursuit includes what author Seth Godin calls the dip. That painful period between the exciting beginning and the rewarding mastery, where progress slows, obstacles multiply, and doubt flourishes. The dip isn't a detour. It's the actual path to mastery. It's nature's way of filtering out those who want the outcome but aren't willing to pay the full price. It's the reason why the achievements you seek are valuable in the first place. Recognize that the urge to quit is strongest precisely when breakthrough is closest. The darkness is always most intense just before dawn breaks. This perspective transforms the pain of perseverance from meaningless suffering into a necessary rite of passage. Counterintuitively, knowing when to rest is as important as knowing when to push. Many people quit not because they're weak, but because they've depleted their physical, mental, and emotional resources through unsustainable effort. Rest isn't quitting. It's strategic recovery that enables continued progress. Learn to distinguish between the voice of weakness seeking escape and the voice of wisdom calling for necessary recuperation. Schedule regular periods of complete disconnection from your pursuit. Create space for your subconscious mind to process, integrate, and innovate. Return to your efforts with renewed clarity and energy. When the path becomes unbearably difficult, reconnect with the deeper purpose behind your efforts. Not the surface level desires, but the fundamental why that resonates in your soul. Who will benefit from your perseverance? What truth are you serving? What wrong are you righting? What example are you setting? What legacy are you building? Purpose provides the context that transforms meaningless struggle into sacred sacrifice. It elevates your efforts from mere persistence to holy perseverance. The urge to quit isn't your enemy. It's a universal checkpoint that tests your commitment to the path you've chosen. It's not evidence of your inadequacy, but an opportunity to demonstrate your resolve. Motivation will come and go. Circumstances will support and then oppose you. The path will be clear and then obscured. Through it all, your response remains the only factor completely within your control.